Yeah.
But just as we're wrapping up, coming to the final question, of course, New York Crime Report for quite a while, up until a few weeks ago, was quite the hit. Not the hit that you put on Gino's jaw. That's one of my hilarious jokes there.
That was the
Uh,
number one hit.
yeah. Yes. And you're on Compound Media, hosted, which is owned by the beautiful, talented, the lovely Ant-Man, Anthony Cumia.
Yeah,
Uh,
Anthony, legend.
oh, he's the I think he's the GOAT.
He is, without a doubt, the GOAT.
I actually seen him eating a carrot.
Yeah, and a can.
They shear him. He doesn't go in for haircuts. He gets sheared. He's that much of a goat. But the thing, I love Anthony, but he's also he's a controversy magnet. He's been kicked off Twitter more than the World Cup. That's hilarious. But I just said he's always getting all kinds of abuse. There's multiple documentaries made about him. Fucking Opie can only seem to maintain a public image these days by talking about Anthony, calling him a racist or a pedo, whatever the fuck. So talk to me about what's it like working with the Ant-Man, Anthony Cumia.
That's the best. It's the absolute best. The guy never got in my way doing the show. He never said, "Don't say this, don't do that." He's always very supportive. He came off like an admirer sometimes. Even he was a big fan of my. He is a big fan of my stand-up. And when we would do shows, he would actually come into the room to watch. And he did do that for all the comics, and he's pointed that out a ton of times. So and I don't just like him because he likes me. I like him because I'm not really that familiar with O&A. I never was I didn't have Sirius satellite radio, and I wasn't in that. I wasn't in the area. So I mean, his broadcasting career prior to what he's doing now is kind of. I'm going back and listening to it all the time now. I do listen to a lot of O&A on YouTube and shit, and I see like, wow, this is amazing. And I've kind of just become a lot more knowledgeable about him as a legend through that. But as a guy and as just a funny dude, I've gotten to know him over the years too. And man, I mean, he's about the funniest. And I'll tell you something else too. If I know about something that happened, he knew about it at least 8 hours before. He's already got a take on it. So I mean, like he lives to know everything, and the shit that he knows something about. He has this varied base of knowledge about fucking literally everything, how machines work and how, what goes on with the weather and fucking, he's just a dude who knows a lot of stuff, a lot of world history, a lot of, important shit. He's got, so when he makes jokes, it comes from a base of knowing shit. And he's just a guy to be respected, period. So I always liked working with him. My only regret is that I wasn't able to, hang out more, see him more. I wasn't always at the studio, and Ant doesn't always want to talk to you. So, you just got to take it where you can. But all that stuff about him being, whatever it is people say is, Jesus fucking Christ. You get a reputation, and it's just like people just go by that, and they plug and play. They find the stuff that they think signals that. I hope to be half as controversial as Anthony Cumia someday.
It's not that hard. Just say, well, let's be controversial now. Boobies.
Come on,
You like that?
That's just, I can't go there.
Go on. It's a podcast. We're at a party.
All right, you got to say yo first, though. Yo, titties is my favorite word. Yo. Like Barry Ribs.
Barry Ribs looks like he used to be a roadie for the Rolling Stones and the Wallflowers.
Now he's retired.
No, it's pronounced.
Ah, right.
Yeah. He talks like the worst Sylvester Stallone impressionist in the world.
Hey, he's not even worth making fun of, is the truth of it. I don't even know why I brought it up.
Yeah. I don't even really know who he is. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
But the but with Opie out there, and he's always talking about Anthony and fucking uh, talking shit about him, using his name for clickbait and stuff. Do you think that he is ever going to bring any heat or trouble onto Anthony, or do you just think that that whole thing is just a dead horse, a dead horse, a dead issue?
What? Opie is a dead issue. Yeah, he's a dead horse. Everything he says is instant. One thing, it might help actually, because I think the more Opie talks shit about Ant, the less seriously anybody will take it, since everything that Opie says is just instantly irrelevant.
But the thing that I find weird is Opie was talking the other day about excuse me, all that cocaine's really playing up with me. But he's been talking about the fact that Anthony's been accused, should we at least say, of being with younger girls and all this shit. But my whole thing is, like, if Anthony really was a pedo and he really was like messing with underage girls and stuff, he wouldn't have the support, the community group, whatever you want to call it, that he does, because like it's not like he's Anthony from O&A anymore. You have lovely eyes, and back in the day, well, not anymore. Oh no, you do again. But back in the day, going on O&A could make your career, but going on a show behind a paywall won't. Yet people just do it because they like Anthony. So, and people wouldn't be around him if he fucking was the scumbag that people keep accusing him of. Am I wrong, or am I just good looking?
Oh yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't. Nobody would support that, and anybody who has ever like decided, like Bill Burr or something, going like, well, I don't want to go on his show, because he's racist or whatever. They could say, shit like that because they don't like his point of view on something, and because they also can't argue with the shit he says. Patrice O'Neal, who there's rumors that he was a black guy.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
I haven't heard anything definitive, but it's just a rumor. And they got along great. They were great friends and had great conversations. So people might misunderstand a couple of things about the guy, but don't sell the paywall audience short, because it exposed me to a lot of new people being on that network, and I had got a lot of fans from it and stuff. So it's of course I was getting paid to go on too. I don't think, I think you're totally right. I certainly wouldn't be, talking the glorious shit that I talk about Anthony, and how great it was working with a legend and everything if he was just a legendary pedo, which he's not.
Yeah, he hasn't really broken in mainstream yet.
He's a moderately successful pedo, but a legendary comedian.
He's promising. He shows a lot of promise. But yeah, I just think that with that sort of stuff with Anthony and the critics, I think just leave Ant-Man alone. He's a nice boy. He's got big shiny brown eyes, and I'm going to say it, he has a lovely smile.
Wow, he does. He has a lovely smile and a lovely dick.
Oh,
you gotta. So Gino says.
Oh no! Did you see any of the Chrissy Mayer live stream house thing she did?
When I have never watched anything that she does live streaming.
Yeah, it was weird. It seemed like Gino was getting a bit jealous when the Ant-Man was talking to the women.
Hey, probably was. Yeah, Gino can be jealous, very jealous. I've been a jealous person myself from time to time, but I can, only when it was, warranted, I think. But the guy, I was supposed to be the stand-in. Like, I had just become like I was going to sit in for Ant whenever he was out. When Ant was out, I was the guy to go to, and once that happened, Gino, and he said this on his show, I won't have him on my show anymore because he's Anthony's sit-in guy. So he wouldn't have me on In Hot Water. Not that I was begging to go on or anything, but he just said it on his show.
But when you left Compound Media, who was that conversation with? Was it E-Rock?
No, man. No, I'm glad that I rated a direct breakup from the man himself,
Mm.
Opie. No, yeah, and gave me the axe personally, and you know what? I made it easy for him. I said, you know what? It's totally fine. Just give me a couple of months severance, and he's like, done. And that was that. So I'm actually paid by Compound through September.
But you're lucky though in a way that because you actually do have a great show, and this like isn't a shot at Anthony, but I've always felt that shows behind a paywall like that limits the audience, even though there's maybe more instant income. But if you're putting a show out for free, you're going to get a lot more viewers, and I think that's one of the issues that Aaron Berg is having with his new show, Berg's Base, and that he's hilarious, and there's a group of people that know how funny he is, but only if you had Compound Media. So now he's like starting again on himself by himself, and there's not that many people yet know that he's an adorable guy that can shake the piss out of you at a bar if you make fun of his wife.
Yeah, not many people know that. Well, he's look. It's hard to decide which way to go with that because you can't just make no money, right? That's important. You have to make some money, and if you feel like you've got enough fans to pay for it, I say, hey, man, do the paywall. I do a free podcast. The New York City Crime Report has been free since 2011, and it still is. And it's available on iTunes or wherever the fuck you get your podcasts. It's an audio podcast. The video version goes on my locals. So I mean, like doing a little both, I think is the best way to go. You got something free that you put out, and then people see that. If they like it, they hear it, and they enjoy it, then they go to your like my locals is NYC Crime Report .locals.com. And people can go there and get all kinds of content. And, there's some that's free there, too, and then there's some that's just for supporters. And, man, people want to support shit that they like. So, it would be almost un-American of me not to accept their, money in exchange for my comedy.
Yeah. Well, if you want comedy, I've got a great joke for you. You should go on there and talk about Donald Trump, right? And you should make fun of his hair.
Dude, I mean, you're talking about something that's never been done. You're talking about breaking new ground in terms of comedy, and I never saw myself as a groundbreaking kind of comic. I just am trying to be funny.
Well, what about a fake tan joke then?
I don't know. It's risky. It's just risky.
Will
what will people say?
Will you think about it at least?
I'll put a little brain into it. Sure, why not?
I'd like to put the brain into you. But anyway,